The rain slammed against the glass door of Crawford and Company, each drop a stab at my breaking heart. I stood there, soaked, staring at the sign with my name, Sarah Crawford. My legacy. My everything. Hours ago my brother Ethan, my closest ally, handed me a letter and said, "You're done, Sarah." His voice was cold, his eyes like steel. No warning. Just a signature that stole the business I'd built from nothing. My own brother, my partner since we were kids dreaming in our parents' garage, had betrayed me. The office lights flickered, mocking me as I gripped the crumpled letter, rage and hope warring inside me. Ethan, in his arrogance, missed one crucial detail, a detail that could undo him. But as I shivered in the dark, the question burned. How had my brother, my blood, become my enemy? What was I going to do? The rain stung my face, but I couldn't move. My eyes locked on the door I'd walked through daily, believing it was ours. We'd started Crawford and Company 5 years ago, two small-town kids with $12,000 and a dream to help businesses like our parents survive. Ethan's charm sealed deals. My numbers made them work. Now that door was a wall locking me out. I pressed my hand to the glass, cold and unyielding like Ethan's face this morning. I'd walked in with coffee, ready for another day. The office hummed, phones ringing, team bustling. Then I saw Ethan by my desk, flanked by 2 suited men. "Sarah, we need to talk," he said, sliding a letter across. "You're out." The board voted. My stomach dropped. "This is our company," I stammered. He didn't flinch. "It's business," he said. "Nothing personal." Nothing personal. This was my life. I begged. "Why, Ethan?" He just stared empty. The team avoided my eyes as I grabbed my bag and stumbled into the rain. Now I unfolded the letter, ink smudging under my fingers. Termination. Effective immediately. Tears mixed with rain. I wanted to scream, to demand answers. But then I saw it, a line in the fine print. My shares. They hadn't been fully transferred. I still owned half the company. My breath caught, a spark in the dark. Ethan thought he'd won, but he'd been sloppy. This was my chance. The street was empty, city lights blurred by rain. I could give up, let this break me. Or I could fight. But fighting meant facing Ethan as my enemy, not my brother. The thought twisted like a knife. I saw us as kids, promising to always have each other's backs. I saw him today, his eyes cold. How had we gotten here? Could I really take him down? I shoved the letter into my pocket, my shoes splashing in puddles. I didn't know what came next, but Ethan had made a mistake. And I'd make him regret it. What would you do if the one you trusted most betrayed you, but left you one chance to fight back? 5 years ago, Ethan and I were unstoppable. The Crawford kids, small-town dreamers with big plans, we'd sketch business ideas on napkins, vowing to escape our parents' grind. Dad's failing hardware store, Mom's endless diner shifts. Ethan was the charmer, his smile disarming anyone. I was the brains, turning his wild visions into reality. At 25, I quit my accounting job. Ethan dropped college. With $12,000, savings and Dad's loan, we launched Crawford and Company, a marketing firm to help small businesses like our parents shine. Our first office was a cramped room above a laundromat, thick with detergent and ambition. I'd work until 3 a.m. on campaigns. Ethan sealed deals with that grin. 2 years later, we had a sleek downtown office, 10 employees, and clients across 3 states. We were living the dream, late-night pizza runs, toasting every milestone, promising we'd never let this go. But there were cracks even then. Ethan started taking long lunches, vanishing for hours with investors. I'd find unlogged invoices, expenses that didn't add up. "It's fine, Sarah," he'd say, flashing that smile. "You worry too much." I trusted him. He was my brother, my best friend. We'd built this together, from those garage dreams to a real business. I'd lie awake sometimes, replaying his excuses, but pushed the doubts down. He'd never hurt me, right? One night, I found a $5,000 consulting fee in the books, no details. I confronted him, my voice sharp. "What's this, Ethan?" He laughed it off. "Just a client thing. Relax." But his eyes darted away, and my stomach twisted. I started checking the books late at night, alone in the office, the hum of the city outside. There were gaps, small but there. A $2,000 transfer here, a vague marketing expense there. I told myself it was nothing, that Ethan was just sloppy. But deep down I knew something was wrong. He was changing, pulling away, and I didn't know why. Looking back, those were the first red flags, waving in a wind I was too blind to see. I'd built my life around this company, around him. Every spreadsheet, every campaign, every sleepless night was for us. But as I stood in that office, staring at the numbers that didn't add up, a chill settled in my chest. What was Ethan hiding? And why was I so afraid to find out? Have you ever ignored a warning sign because you loved someone too much to believe it? Last year, the cracks in our dream became chasms. Crawford & Company was thriving, clients pouring in, our reputation soaring, but Ethan was slipping away. My brother, once my rock, showed up late, tie askew, eyes bloodshot. "Late night," he'd mutter, avoiding me. I caught him on hushed calls, stepping out when I entered. Once I overheard, "She doesn't need to know yet." My stomach twisted, but I told myself it was stress. We were stretched thin, weren't we? I pushed the doubt down, clinging to the brother I knew. Then came Vantage Partners. Slick investors Ethan brought in without warning. They pushed us to chase corporate clients, abandoning our mission to help small businesses like Dad's. Hated it. "This isn't us," I told Ethan, my voice sharp. He leaned back, eyes gleaming with something new, greed, desperation. "This is our shot to go big, Sarah," he said. He signed their contracts, bypassing our vetting process. I argued, he waved me off. "You handle the numbers, I'll handle the vision." Stung, reducing me to a cog in our machine. The money started vanishing. A $5,000 consulting fee here, $10,000 for marketing there. I confronted Ethan, spreadsheets in hand, pointing to a $50,000 transfer to an unknown account. "Client advance," he laughed, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. I couldn't sleep, haunted by his lies. Late at night I dug through bank statements, emails, contracts. Gaps everywhere. I found an email from Vantage Partners mentioning a side deal. My heart sank. Was Ethan cutting me out? The tension built like a storm. Ethan grew secretive, dodging questions. His charm replaced by a sharp edge. At our annual board meeting, he dropped a bombshell. A proposal to restructure, giving himself majority control. "Just paperwork," he said, but his eyes betrayed him. Cold, calculating. The team looked to me, waiting. I said no, my voice shaking, but I saw his anger flare. That night, alone in my apartment, I stared at the ceiling, dread pooling in my chest. Ethan wasn't just drifting. He was plotting. Against me. I started watching him closer, noting every call, every late-night meeting. One evening, I found a hidden folder on his work laptop. Password protected, labeled Vantage. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, heart pounding. Should I break in? What would I find? The brother I loved was slipping away, replaced by someone I didn't recognize. But I wasn't ready to face the truth. Not yet. Have you ever felt the person you trusted most was hiding something that could destroy you? It was a Monday when my world shattered. I walked into Crawford & Company, coffee in hand, ready to confront Ethan about the Vantage folder I'd found. My heart pounded, but I was done ignoring the red flags. The office hummed, phones ringing, team bustling, until I saw him. Ethan stood at my desk, flanked by two men in suits, their faces like stone. "Sarah," he said, his voice flat, "we need to talk." He slid a document across my desk. A termination letter. My termination letter. Effective immediately. "You're out," he said. "The board voted. You're no longer a fit." The room spun, my coffee slipping from my hand, splashing on the floor. "What?" I whispered. "This is our company. I built this with you." He didn't flinch. "You've been holding us back," he said. Vantage Partners agrees. We're moving on. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt like it was caving in. Ethan, why? Begged, my voice cracking. What did I do? He just stared, his eyes empty, no trace of the brother who dreamed with me. The letter cited mismanagement, conflict of interest. Lies, all lies. The board, our team, people we'd hired together had signed off on this. I was being erased. My assistant, Lisa, whispered, "I'm so sorry." But no one met my eyes. I grabbed my bag, hands shaking, and stumbled toward the door. "Ethan, please." I tried one last time. He turned away. The door clicked shut behind me, and the rain swallowed me whole. Outside, I stood frozen, the letter crumpled in my fist. My life's work gone. My brother gone. I wanted to scream, to pound the glass until it broke. But then I saw it, in the smudged fine print. My shares. They hadn't been fully transferred. I still owned half the company. My breath caught, a spark in the dark. Ethan thought he'd won, but he'd missed this. This was my lifeline. But as the rain soaked me, a new fear gripped me. What had Ethan done to make this happen? What do you do when your whole world collapses, but you find one thread to pull it all apart? The days after Ethan's betrayal were a fog of rage and despair. I holed up in my apartment, blinds drawn, the world reduced to shadows. The letter, crumpled and rain-stained, sat on my kitchen table, a constant reminder of my ruin. I'd built Crawford and Company with my brother, poured 5 years of my life into it, only for him to erase me. My phone buzzed with voicemails, friends, Mom, Dad, but I couldn't face their pity. "He's ashamed," Mom said, her voice soft over the phone. "Give him time." Time. Ethan had stolen my life. I saw his face in my mind, cold, unrecognizable, saying, "It's just business." My fists clenched, nails biting into my palms. How could he? I obsessed over the letter, reading it until the words blurred. That clause about my shares was my lifeline. Ethan's forged signature hadn't fully transferred them. I still owned half the company. Hope flickered, but so did doubt. Could I fight him? My own brother. I lay awake, replaying our childhood. Promises in the garage, his laugh, our dreams. Now he was a stranger. The pain cut deeper than I could bear. A wound that bled anger and grief. I needed a plan. I called Claire, a sharp corporate lawyer. "This is airtight," she said, eyeing the letter. "He violated the bylaws. You've got leverage." Leverage. The word felt like a blade, sharp and dangerous. I could take Ethan down, reclaim what was mine. But at what cost? Every night, I imagined confronting him, exposing his lies. Yet fear crept in. What if I lost everything? My apartment felt like a cage, the silence deafening. I was alone, unmoored, a ghost of the woman who'd built an empire with her brother. One night, staring at the letter, I made a choice. I wouldn't let Ethan win. Not like this. But what was he hiding? Why had he done this? The truth was out there, and I was going to find it. Have you ever been so broken you didn't know if you could fight, but something inside refused to give up? I didn't want to destroy Ethan. Not at first. I just wanted answers. So I called him, my voice steady despite the storm inside, and asked to meet. Neutral ground. A coffee shop downtown. Its warm lights a stark contrast to the cold rain of my betrayal. He showed up, looking older, his charm dulled, eyes tired. "What do you want, Sarah?" he asked, barely meeting my gaze. I laid it out, the forged signature, the bylaws, my shares. "I still own half," I said, watching his face pale. "You can't do this," he stammered. "Vantage Partners will pull out." His words hit like a confession. Vantage wasn't just a client. They were pulling his strings. I pressed, my voice low, relentless. "What did you do, Ethan?" The truth spilled out. He'd taken a massive loan from Vantage Partners to fund his big vision. When he couldn't pay, they demanded control. Kicking me out was their idea, to clear the way for a corporate takeover. My brother had sold me out to save himself. My chest ached, not with anger but grief. I saw us as kids, dreaming in the garage, promising forever. Now he was a pawn in his own game. I could have gone to court. Claire, my lawyer, was ready, the evidence airtight. But staring at Ethan, broken and ashamed, I made a choice. "Step down," I said. "I'll sign over my shares, but only if you leave and let me take control. No Vantage. Just our company." He nodded, eyes downcast. The legal battle to oust Vantage took months, brutal and draining. Ethan left town, too ashamed to face me. I rebuilt Crawford and Company, refocusing on small businesses, our original mission. I forgave him in my heart, but his absence left a void. Had I won or just survived? What would you sacrifice to reclaim your dream? And what would you let go to heal? I stand in the office of Crawford and Company, the one I fought to save, the hum of my team's work a quiet pulse behind me. The sign still bears my name, but it feels different now, heavier, earned. The rain that soaked me that night, when Ethan's betrayal left me broken, is a distant memory, but its chill lingers in my bones. I rebuilt this place, brick by brick, after he walked away. The battle with Vantage Partners was brutal. Months of legal wrangling, late nights poring over documents with Claire, my lawyer, and moments when I doubted I'd make it. But I did. We're thriving again, helping small businesses, staying true to the dream Ethan and I once shared. Yet, as I trace my fingers over the desk where he handed me that letter, I wonder, at what cost? Forgiving Ethan wasn't easy. I see him in every corner of this office. His laugh, his wild ideas, the way we'd stay up plotting our future. He's gone now, somewhere out there, carrying his shame. I haven't heard from him since he left town, and the silence is a wound that hasn't healed. I forgave him in my heart, but I don't know if we'll ever be siblings again, not like before. That loss cuts deeper than losing the company ever could. Standing here, I've learned trust is fragile, a thread that can snap under the weight of greed or fear. Ethan's betrayal taught me my own strength, but also the price of love. I fought for this company, not just to win, but to prove I could rise from the ashes he left behind. Looking out the window, the city lights blur like they did in the rain that night. I'm not the same Sarah who stood outside, clutching a crumpled letter. I'm tougher, wiser, but maybe a little harder too. I wonder if Ethan's out there, rebuilding his own life, or if he's still running from what he did. Part of me hopes he finds peace like I'm trying to. But another part, the part that still feels the sting of his words, it's just business, wants him to know I didn't just survive, thrive. This journey wasn't about revenge, not really. It was about reclaiming myself. And now I ask you, what's worth fighting for in your life? What would you hold on to, no matter the cost? And what would you let go to save yourself? Betrayal, whether it's a sibling, a friend, or someone you thought you knew, leaves scars. But those scars can guide you if you let them. I rebuilt my dream, but I'm still learning to rebuild my heart. So, tell me in the comments, what's your story? Have you ever been betrayed by someone you loved? Forced to pick up the pieces and start again? Hit that like button if you fought for what's yours, and share this story if it resonates. Subscribe because this isn't the end. It's just the beginning of what we can overcome together. What would you do to take back what's yours? And what would you sacrifice to find peace?